What is up, party people? I am super excited today because this is something that I get requests for all the time. Laurel, I need cash flow, cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. Like, what is it? What is the only thing that I need to do? Right. And one of the things that I like to tell my Lean on Laurel students anytime that they tell me that they need cash flow and they need this like structure in order to get cash flow, I always tell them, I was like, look, you need to figure out what those activities are that you need to be doing every single day, every single month. But here's the thing. Ads are not, quote, that activity. Ads are the accelerant for the activity that you do. Does that make sense? Like, for instance, right? Like, if you are, as a matter of fact, I have a student who's well known locally, right? And she wants to do all of these local events. The activity that she needs to continue to do is to fill that local event, right? That's the activity. But if she uses ads and uses my ecosystem in order to stay in front of her local audience, what do you think is going to happen when she does the activity that she needs to do in order to make her cash flow, right? It's going to make that activity a lot easier. And so when people ask me, Laurel, what activities do I need to be doing? The first thing that I always tell them is go talk to Justin and Sarah, because even though Justin and Sarah and we do different activities, and we actually kind of do the same activities, we just do them in slightly different ways. There is no better team that I would love to have this conversation with than Justin and Sarah from Wake Up to Freedom. Like, these two, like, we have so many of the same ideals as to, we don't want to grow our business to billions and billions of dollars. As a matter of fact, we just want to keep it as small as possible, and leverage, right? That's the thing that the three of us love. We love leverage. And if anyone has cracked the code on how to literally wake up to freedom every single day, it is these two people. Justin and Sarah, thank you so much for being with us. I'm going to kind of just hand the conversation off to you guys, because we'll just get into it. We'll jam for the next 55 minutes with everyone in the room here. And then for those of you guys who are in momentum, you guys know we get a little extra time with these two. And so we'll hop over to the other Zoom for an open Q&A, but we'll try to get to Q&A in this room as well too. So Justin and Sarah, take it away.
Well, thanks for having us.
No pressure. No pressure there.
I love whenever we get to do these swaps. Like, Laurel, you've been in our community multiple times. We've gotten to share here about what we do here. And we just always find like your crew of people are like legit experts, action takers, like show up ready. So we're excited to have this conversation.
Okay, context. Does everybody have an offer you want to sell more of? And if you do, put it in the chat. What is it? Course, service, mentorship, a membership, mastermind. And then once you've done that, how have you sold it before?
Cool.
A launch, a big launch, on the back of something else, a 5-day challenge, a workshop. I got a webinar funnel. Hey, Shelly. Summits, launches, challenges, workshops. Shelly's done them all. Live person workshops. Power ads. Cool, Mike.
WhatsApp
Yeeves,
combos.
WhatsApp conversations. Love that. Membership, mentorship. That is totally new. Haven't sold it yet. Cool. Well, that's our goal today, is to help you guys sell more of the thing you want to sell. That's it. That was our talk. Thanks for being here. Okay. So a little backstory, context, if we haven't met before. We have been running Wake Up to Freedom for 4.5 years. And before that, I've done a wide gamut of things as well. But ultimately, our vision is, how can we build a business that is in alignment with the life that we want? We were chatting with someone recently, and the idea of like, there's no nobility in working more than you need to. There's no nobility in working hard, if that's not necessarily like what your life is supposed to be for yourself. And that's how we view it. So we want to work, we want to serve people, we want to create a great living, make some great money, but also like not kill ourselves in the process. And we've done everything: membership, mastermind, courses, low ticket, high ticket, services, VIP days. And about, I don't know, 6 or 7 months ago, we had a hard conversation of, this isn't working. The idea of big launches, the idea of revenue spikes, and then waiting for 3 or 4 months before we could do it again. The idea of having 18 different offers we're trying to sustain and get people into. The idea of having a big team, like this was like something was not working. And so we looked at all the things that we had done over the last 4.5 years, and we looked at what were the offers that were like fun for us to do. First of all, like fun, like we actually enjoyed doing them. What were the offers that were like really easy to sell? Like we didn't really have to do anything. Like, people just bought it and they saw the offer and they're like, cool, I want that. They'll buy it. What were the things that didn't have scope creep or didn't like balloon into something bigger than we imagined? What were the things that we could feasibly repeat on an ongoing basis? And ultimately we looked at it and we identified kind of 3 to 4 things that worked for us. And then we said, okay, these are what have worked for us. They kind of checked all those boxes, and let's just try doing that. So instead of doing all the things, let's just double down on the things that we liked, the things that were easy to sell, the things that didn't have like scope creep or didn't balloon, and the things that we could do regularly. Any guesses at what some of those could be? If you know us, yeah, Shelly, scope creep is real. And it's not just for services. It's literally like scope creep in courses or programs or masterminds. Mini course there. Oh, there we go. Read a mini workshop. I mean, that's one of them.
We love workshops. You'll never get us to quit those.
No. But the irony is we couldn't do them because we were doing other things. Shelly, selling your digital resources. Yeah, who here is sitting on a Google Drive just full of helpful things that you've created for yourself? They solve the need in your life or for
I
your
see you,
clients
Tony.
or your members. It's just sitting there. The only person who has access to it is you. And you know that can help people. Or who has resources inside the thing you want to sell, your course, your membership, your mastermind, your mentorship, that the only people who have access to it are a small group of people who are in that thing. So they can't even see your genius or what you help people with on the outside of that. Yeah, Laurel, you've mentioned that your Loom account is worth millions and it's just sitting there.
Probably just sitting there. Like every time I do like a 20-minute rundown for a client, I'm like, oh my God, that video was worth so much money.
Yeah. So here's what we identified for ourselves. Number one is live workshops. So for us, the idea of showing up for 60 minutes to connect and demonstrate is something that we really got a lot of enjoyment out of. They were really easy to sell. It's a date on the calendar, the finite outcome. And we could do them regularly if we found a way to systematize them. So that was one of the things that we're like, hey, we really, really love this. So we're going to commit to doing more live workshops. And as part of that, we're going to make them really simple, though, because if we're going to do them regularly, we can't have complexity, because then all of a sudden we're letting scope creep kind of come back in. So live workshops, selling existing assets. So over the 4.5 years, Sarah has written, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of words in templates or examples or swipes. We've got mini courses, we've got existing toolkits, we've got GPTs, we've got all the things that, again, either we're literally not available for purchase or only available in certain things that you'd have to buy a much bigger thing to get access to. The other thing that we naturally have as a result of doing live workshops is the replay. And again, that is it's ironic because the reason we started Wake Up to Freedom, if we go back 4.5 years, is because I reached out to Sarah and I was like, I want to buy a workshop. And she's like, well, I can't. Like I don't have access to the replay is not sellable. And I was like, well, Sarah, how about I help you build products where you write, like I'll do the tech stuff to make it so your workshops could be sellable. because I want to buy the thing and you're not letting me buy it. And we've talked to so many people over the 4.5 years where they do a live workshop, and then the replay will go back into their Google Drive graveyard where it's not available for purchase. So the third thing was workshop replays. So an instant access, you can watch it here for, I mean, in our case, lifetime, but you have access to the replay. And then the other kind of fourth thing that we looked back at and said was, okay, we have this email list. Every now and again, Sarah has sent emails to just get people to raise their hand if they're interested in something. And so could the fourth thing literally just be kind of hand raiser type posts or emails, and then just invitations to upgrade to the thing that we want people to ultimately buy? Could we run our business literally just doing those four things and nothing else? So a live workshop, and selling an existing asset, selling the workshop replay, and then every now and again asking people to raise their hand if they want help, or sending a personal invite to someone that we've identified through some means that they would be a great fit for the thing we ultimately want to sell.
Yeah. And what really made the magic of this come together for us was identifying that one offer, main offer, that we wanted more people in. Because we had done lots of one-off workshops and challenges and sprints and templates. We'd sold all sorts of stuff before. It's not like we had never sold something from our Google Drive before. It's not like we had never done a live workshop before, but we had gotten into a bit of a trap of creating bridges to nowhere, where it was like, okay, we have this template or we have this workshop, but we're so busy juggling these things, we don't have time to set up an intentional upgrade path into one main offer. And we haven't even committed to one main offer. For years, we had a membership and we ultimately shut it down for a bunch of personal reasons. And so we hadn't re-identified what's this one thing that we want people in.
Mm-hmm.
And when we re-identified that, we're like, okay, we want more people in the repeatable revenue mentorship. All of those monthly activities just become like a little magic trapdoor into that. So instead of us ever needing to launch or sell or do a massive promotion of our main offer, all we do are like create, like I really do mentally think of it like a video game of like creating these little trapdoors into it where the activities are super light. It's like, hey, we do a 60-minute live workshop. We show up on Zoom and help some people.
Yeah.
Hey, we pull a Google Doc out of our Google Drive and say, hey, do you want this? We say, hey, we did this workshop last week. Turns out a bunch of people liked it. Do you want to grab the replay? But it doesn't die there. And if it dies there, if it all stops there at just the workshops or the templates, you're on this hamster wheel of trying to get $7, $27, $49 sales. And unless you have, a 6-figure email list, that's quite the hustle.
Yeah.
But if each of those things naturally introduce 5 people, 10 people, 25 people, 50 people to your next thing, and you give them a compelling reason to upgrade right away. And we typically have 3 to 12 upgrade invites. Most of them take, just a few minutes to set up. A lot of them are really light, but just little invites that if someone joins this, they're going to see some type of invitation, whether it's an upsell page, whether it's something in the confirmation email, whether it's an email they get a week down the road. And so we're setting up all these different entry points for our main offer so that we're never having to like actively launch it.
Can we do a little deep dive into the numbers? Because like I think that, I still think that there's some students that don't see the importance of having that main core offer
Yeah.
and all of these little offers, because I think people do everything a little backwards to where they're wondering why, hey, I've got the $7 thing, but they've never actually done the math to figure out like so can we kind of dive into how you guys think about, okay, how do I offer this one thing? What do the numbers look like? How do you make those decisions on what your flow needs to look like in order for you and Justin to be profitable?
Yeah, I think it's a great point, because we see a lot of folks that have offers where the math doesn't math. Where it's like, it doesn't make sense to be selling a low ticket membership when you have 1,000 people on your email list. Like, it's literally you are going to burn out guaranteed. It doesn't
Like
make
even
sense.
if 100% of people on your email list joined, you still actually wouldn't be making your target
Yeah.
monthly income number.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good place to start, is like, what is your enough number? Like if you were to take home a certain amount of money every single month, 5 grand, 10 grand, whatever it is, that was enough. And everyone's is different. But if you look at that and then you're like, hey, this is my enough number, how do I get there? In a lot of cases, it's not low ticket offers that lead nowhere. In a lot of cases, it's not a low ticket membership. I mean, people are I mean, Laurel, like we're in your world. So we look at it and we say, well, Laurel's got a $7 membership and thousands of members. And it's like, what we forget is that's a 6-year grind and a 10+ year before that experience to become an expert. So it's literally not just a 6 years, it's like 15 years getting to this. So this is a snapshot in time, right? 4,000 people and a $7 membership.
Oh, I'm old. I started in 2002.
OG,
It's
OG
okay,
internet
it's okay,
marketer.
It's okay.
It was a
But-
long journey.
Yeah, and it's like that, but in a lot of cases the math doesn't math. So the idea of having a higher priced offer, or, and again, no, we're not saying like, hey, go now, you got to go create a high ticket offer. Like, no, but maybe there is an opportunity for an upgrade into a little bit more hands-on support, or a service, or feedback, or an audit. Or again, a great example is how Momentum started for you, right? Like, how did Momentum start? Doing sprints.
Yeah.
So
I tested the workshop pretty much here in the $7 program. And then people were like, hey, could I just pay you every month?
Yeah.
Because the same people were signing up over and over again. So it wasn't like I created Momentum like, oh, I'm going to create this new program. It was actually created out of necessity in order to leverage, right? Because I want you guys to pay attention to what they're saying, right? Because like if you think about like the monthly repeatable revenue, right? Every single month I was doing a 2-step post inside the $7 program, right? The same people were saying, I want in on this. And I think people were tired of signing up every month, and people were like, hey, and I was tired of answering the 2 steps every month too, right? Because I had over 100 people that I had to like, and so I was like, how could I leverage this proven thing? I did it over a year before releasing Momentum, right?
Yep.
And so it was a repeatable activity that I was doing every single month. And then I was like, okay, how could I make this more leveraged? And it's a win on both sides.
Totally.
Yeah, so-
And I think it's so important that you started there, because one of the things we talk about with repeatable revenue is it's easier to repeat revenue than it is to create recurring revenue. A recurring is a harder ask for people because people start doing the math right away. They're like, I'm going to be charged again. It's going to hit my credit card. Okay, this times this many months is going to be this much. People start getting into a lot of money friction when it comes to signing up for recurring stuff. And that means recurring is great. We love recurring, but you have to have a foundation laid for it. And I think a lot of people try to jump into recurring before they've built up the demand and the authority and the audience to sustain that slightly higher friction of the sales process. And so we often recommend if you're at the place where you're like, I don't have a back end offer, but I would like repeatable revenue. I would like to know that I can get to 5K every month, that I can get to 10K, that I can get to 15K. We're typically talking with our clients about, okay, can we create an offer in that like 1 to 3K price point? Whether that's, and that doesn't mean, okay, I need to go in my creation cave for 3 months and build out a program. It's like, no, can that offer be, I get on Zoom with you and help you do this? Can that offer be, we spend 4 hours together and get this project done? Can that offer be, okay, you get added to a 30-day Facebook group where we do weekly lives and co-working sessions to get from A to B? Like a really simple container at 1 to 3K, where each sale brings in enough cash flow that if you're at the audience stage where, you don't have thousands and thousands and thousands of people raising their hand like you did, Laurel, yet, where you can still hit that enough number with 3 upgrades, 6 upgrades, 15 upgrades from your trapdoor, like repeatable revenue activities.
Yeah. So that was us, like going back to finish that story, that was us putting out an idea, and then, as Laurel just shared, doing the same thing every single month. So every single month we do those 4 activities. And
Explain the difference between recurring revenue and repeatable. That was a question in the chat, and I think you're
yeah, so who
Yeah.
here enjoys signing up for something where they know they're going to be billed again in the future? Raise your hand. Right? Very few
Maybe.
people are like, I can't wait to be billed again for this thing. Whether it's Netflix, Amazon Prime, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, nobody loves it. It's a friction point. And even though you give people cancel anytime, you can cancel with 2 clicks, there's money back guarantee, any of that stuff, like, it's just it's a much harder sell. But the cool thing is, for a business owner, theoretically, is, well, their money's in their credit cards in the system, so they're more likely to stick. Well, in our experience, recurring is great as an upgrade or backend type offer where trust has been built and need has been created or shown. As a front end offer, very different thing. And so we use these lower priced offers to introduce people to our core offer, and it's much easier to sell a one-time payment with a finite result than an ongoing payment with an indefinite result, which is what a lot of ongoing payments are, right? It's mastery, it's progress over time, it's things that, like, it's just hard to paint a picture of, versus come to this thing, this is what you'll walk away with. Grab this template, this is what you'll be able to do in 30 minutes. Those are finite results. And what Laurel, you demonstrated, is that I could do the sprint every single month and sell out 100 spots at $97. And here's the kicker. People were repeating. So now you didn't have to sell 100 new people every month. You just had to sell 20 or 30 new people because 60 or 70 wanted to do it again. So in effect, you were getting the recurring revenue, but it was a much easier sell on the front end. And you also have people that are taking action. So they didn't just buy something and do nothing with it. They're like, no, I got a result last time. I want to come to the next one as well. Or life got in the way. I want to give this another go in the next one. And so the idea of, like, repeating versus recurring is, repeating, someone has to literally make a purchase more than once. They have to enter their credit card, or at least go and click the buy button if your system saves their credit card. Recurring is they enter it once and they'll get billed again in 30 days. But the hang up is very different in the front end offer we've experienced. And you'll notice that a lot of people who sell subscription-based training, so training on how to grow a membership, training on how to create a recurring type offer, often have front end offers that are fixed time and single payment.
Yeah,
and if
it's
you
just
look
like
at
an
that,
awesome entry point.
yeah, it's because it's an easier sell. And as far as the types of offers, and going back to the 4, because I think this is helpful, in a sea of AI, which is awesome, we use AI. In a sea of automations, which is awesome, we use automations. There's nothing better to sell than connection and demonstration. So we connect as a person, and being able to demonstrate that I can help you do the thing that you want. It's the reason why Costco does what Costco does, and they make a silly amount of money. It's all demonstrative marketing is Costco. If you can do that in your lower priced offers, then you can sell recurring easy, which is what, again, Laurel did. Like, it's a perfect case study. Demonstrate, recurring is easy. I'm going to fill 100 spots at $200 a month with a couple of messages, largely comprised of people who did the one-off repeatable purchases.
Totally.
Does all that make sense?
And it's
Yeah,
like magic once people have that.
Can we just take one step back, because, like, I think, can we just kind of go over those 4 activities again and just kind of, like, walk people through, like, here are the things that you need, kind of like your assets, right?
Yeah.
And let's just kind of, like, take it one step at a time so people can really get a good idea of, like, the actionables that they need to leave and go do.
Yeah. So number 1 is the live workshop. Again, that's magic. We automate a ton of stuff in our business. Like Justin said, we use AI for a ton of stuff in our business, but we don't try to automate the humanity out of our business. We're not using those automations or those AI tools to be like, how can we make sure we never have to talk to a human again? How can we make sure we never have to show our face again? That's not the point. We're automating structures, systems, funnels in our business to free up our time to do the highest leverage things, which is, Laurel, I know you talk about this all the time, actually having conversations with the people that you want to help. So for us, we have found that having a live workshop once a month is like the highest leverage thing that we can do in our business. For us, it's low ticket. It's typically, $7 to $47. That's what we've found is a sweet spot for us. Different niches, it might be a little different, but the goal is for it to be a low ticket, easy purchase. And we just pick a specific topic that we know we can help people with in an hour. And B, we know it's already on the minds of people who would be a good fit for our main offer. So it isn't something disconnected from our main offer. It's something that our ideal clients would already be thinking about. And so we're like, hey, come to this live workshop, grab a ticket, super cheap, show up on Zoom with us for an hour, and we're literally going to help you do it.
And I give an example because I think like so many people are missing out because they think, oh, this doesn't pertain to my industry, right?
Yeah.
Like it is like, so someone mentioned boudoir photography a while ago, right? I know plenty of boudoir photographers who do like these in-person workshops, like teach people how to take selfie boudoir photography. Like she will invite a whole bunch of people to her studio for like 47 bucks, 97 bucks and show them how to self-shoot boudoir photography. What is that doing? It's literally opening up the gateway for her perfect clients locally. And so just like, this is not just like for online, but like there are things that you can do as a local business owner in order to make this the gateway to upselling people into what you actually have to offer.
Totally. We've had people do workshops on dog training. We've had people do workshops on really intricate cake decorating techniques. We've had people do workshops on parenting kids who have ADHD. We've had people do workshops on like all sorts of non-businessy things.
Yeah.
And it still is an amazing container because Laurel, like you just said, it's this gateway where you no longer like a lot of marketing for bigger ticket stuff or for your main offer, it's like promise based. It's like I'm making some sort of promise that I can help you with this thing, which is cool until you have a market of people who are skeptical because they've been burned before. They're like, well, this
Which is
promise
every
sounds
market
great.
at this point.
Everyone.
Like some of us had a little bit more of a, we felt this over the last couple of years, but pretty much every market now, we've all been burned, right? We bought something with a great promise that didn't fulfill. We bought something that looked great. Then you get behind the paywall and you're like, what the heck? This is garbage. Like, what did I just buy? Like, we've all had that experience.
Totally. And so a workshop allows you to no longer have to like make big promises in order to sell your bigger offer because people have actually experienced you.
Yeah.
They've actually seen, oh, you are an expert. Oh, you do care about people. Oh, even like the subtler stuff, like, oh, this is your vibe. This is how you treat people when they ask you a question. This is how you coach people. This is how you give feedback. All these things that if they're looking at your $1,000 offer or $2,000 offer, they have all these question marks about. Like, oh, this sounds great, but my last coach would never answer my questions. This sounds great, but I don't know if this is going to work for my personality. If you just do a live workshop, they get to actually experience that.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to make these unsubstantiated promises and rely on trust. You are actually building trust at the workshop. So I think that's a huge piece of it. And Laurel, you wanted to chat assets too. So for us, we keep workshops really simple. We do a short sales page that we literally use the same exact one every single month. We do new topics. So we just duplicate it, update the headline, update the bullet points of what we're going to cover, update the date and time, but like it's super simple. Auto register people for the Zoom session, and we send a few emails, do a few posts. We'll often do a few ads to like our invisible list or something, and then host the live session.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are like, they're in a hurry for us to get to the marketing piece, right? Which you just shared. But ads are not the only thing that you should be doing, guys. Like ads are just kind of like what we were talking about, like the accelerator. Like if, like, I'll just go back to the local boudoir photographer, right? Like if you're hosting a workshop, I would be flyering the town. I would be going to where my ideal clients are hanging out in town. Like I would be doing as much. Like, so whenever I first started, my business back in 2018, I'm about to 7 years old. April 18th, my business is going to be 7 years old. And in the very beginning, I would just attend all of these network marketing events that I would just find on Facebook. And I would say, hey, could I open up the networking event? I know you guys got 3 incredible speakers, but I've got a 5-minute presentation on $5 ads. Can I open? And I would literally just go, where are my people hanging out? And I think that a lot of people, even if you're an internet, even if your business is online, outside your door, there's a whole bunch of people who still want what you like, still want what you have. And it could be an awesome way to actually get your offer in front of people. And so it's like, hang out in Facebook groups, hang out outside in your local community. Like Facebook is just a traffic source, and ads are a part of that traffic source, but you need to be doing everything that you can when you're starting out, right? You need to start out. And Justin and Sarah, when you guys started, right? What were some of the things? Because you guys didn't just automatically out the gate start with ads, did you? Like you guys, like, kind of talk us through some of your, your grassroots kind of methodology to like kind of getting, if they have 0 email list, 0 audience, and 0 budget.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Who here has connected with someone else in Laurel's community? Okay, if you have not, make that your task in the next week. Find a couple people and actually connect, because literally Laurel, Sarah, and I all met in a thing exactly like this. This is where it all started. It's just actually having conversations with people in a program that we were in. And how I launched my first paid workshop after I exited my last business was literally just reaching out to Laurel and Sarah and saying, hey, can I go live in your group, give some training on video for free? And at the end, if people want to hop into the workshop I'm about to launch, that'd be awesome. But otherwise, I just want to show up and be helpful for your people. And that's literally how I sold my first, I don't know, 40 or 50 workshop tickets 5 years ago.
Yeah, I still remember you coming to do a live stream in my group. This was, before we were in business together. And just to give context, like my group wasn't this big, famous, popular group. I had 285 people in a group on copywriting. And you came, I feel like I remember you messaging me after that like 6 people had bought a ticket. It was epic.
Yeah.
For me, when I started, before I was in the internet marketing space as much, I was doing educational workshops. So I was doing workshops for high school students. And so I would like call principals of like high schools, charter schools, and just say like, hey, I'm doing a workshop on, college admission essays. Like, do you have any students that this would be helpful? I would call like youth group pastors, just like anyone who hung out with high school students and had like groups of high school students. That's how I used to sell my workshops, like before I had an email list or a website or anything. When I transitioned into internet marketing space and was doing freelance writing, I would find groups where I knew people were looking for help with writing. So I would join like webinar Facebook groups. And then everyone in there would be posting like, hey, is this a good title for my webinar? Hey, here's my webinar sales page. And I would just record free Loom videos for people, helping them with their webinars, because they're in a Facebook group about webinars. And I was like, hey, they'll be looking for feedback. And that's how I got like the first probably like 250 people on my email list was doing that. And that's how I got my first clients too.
That doesn't end. Again, today we're literally doing the same thing we did 4 years ago. Like we love like being in front of other people's groups that we know that, one, we can help, and 2, is a great group. Like the fact that you guys are part of Laurel's world, it's like, cool, we know you're awesome people. And we're happy to come here and share hopefully some valuable stuff that either changes something you were going to do, or gives you new ideas, or reaffirms something, the path you're already going down. Like that's a win for all of us. And that doesn't end. So yeah, we're running ads. Yeah, we're sending emails, but we're also making sure we have time for stuff like this. We're not on social media. Like you won't find a single Instagram post from us. You won't find a TikTok from us. The extent of what we'll be doing this year is like some longer form YouTube videos where we can just talk about stuff that YouTube seems like a good place for. But otherwise, like our efforts are not trying to be everywhere, but to be focused and connecting with humans. And I saw a comment here as far as, where is it, about selling the sales page template. Dr. Tony, you could sell a sales page template. Guess what we did? We sold a sales page template. Here's the thing about workshop topics. I've seen a couple questions about that. Ultimately, I started this with, you have a thing you want to sell, right? Like your membership, your course, your whatever. Chances are you cannot boil that down into a 60-minute workshop. But what you have are multiple entry points to that bigger thing. So whether that's the modules in your course, and within there's a couple workshop topics, whether that's what you help your members do in the first day or first month of their membership, there's a couple workshop topics. Whether you have a book and you've got chapters, we've had clients come in and say, I've got a book. We're like, cool, each chapter is a workshop. So that's 12 different entry points to your world. So that's one way. But then the other way is the idea of like leveraging the existing assets you've created. What we're not saying is go to Google Drive, find a bunch of disparate things and sell them, as Sarah talked about. The idea is like they have to lead to something. So do you have resources, something that collapses time for people and speaks to a different segment of your audience, where a workshop allows you to demonstrate and connect, and it's a date on the calendar, so there's a forcing function of like actually showing up. There's also a segment of your audience who just wants the shortcut. They just want the thing that you've created, the SOP, the GPT, the template, the thing that they literally just plug in and then they've saved themselves an hour a week or 10 hours a month or days, and they'll buy that. And so, of course, for our case, we're going to sell the workshop sales page because we help people launch workshops. Hey, do you want to launch your workshop? Here's the template that we've used to sell 3,000 of them. And by the way, or you could hop into this thing and you just get the GPT where you click a button and it writes the sales page for you. And so there's thinking like really focused about, I have the thing I want to sell. What are the various ways that I can allow the trapdoors that I can meet someone where they're with a problem right now with a one-time purchase that's a no-brainer price that introduces them into the thing that can help them at a deeper level.
Totally. Another one of our favorite places to get inspiration is like, what are the questions that people are already asking us?
Yeah.
So if we have a conversation like this, what are the questions people are having in the chat? Like we could do a workshop just on coming up with profitable workshop ideas.
Yeah.
So if you're getting questions in your DMs, or if you're chatting with people who might be a good fit for your offer and you're getting questions, those things are often where our workshop ideas come to life. And we're like, wait, I'm answering this same question for the 10th time. This could be a workshop.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if you work with clients one-on-one, the little magical things you're doing for them could be a workshop. Like we just chatted with one of our clients who was trying to come up with a workshop idea. And she was sharing, she's like, oh yeah, I just did something for a client and I set up this automation for their appointment calendar. And they were blown away. And we're like, okay, that little thing that you just did for a client, that could be a workshop of like how to get automated appointments, or how to automate your calendar, or how to set up this automation so you're no longer dealing with no-shows or spam bookings. Like whatever the problem was that it solved, like those things that you're doing for one person, could you guide people through the high-level steps in an hour?
Yeah. And then the idea is you've got, again, these are our 4 things, and we just do them every month. And it's not sexy, right? It's not like, I mean, there's a little bit of restraint that's needed for it, because you have to say no to shiny things. You have to say no to, but I could just do this. And you're like, no, I can't. But the reality is, within the things that like the workshops or the existing asset or the workshop replay or the upgrades, like you have a lot of flexibility. So you get to like control how those are created and how much you want to put into it. And then you get to like systematize the rest of it. You get to say, okay, I'm writing a sales page isn't necessarily something I love to do. So I'm going to duplicate, I'm going to make some tweaks, and I'm going to be okay with that. But actually connecting with humans is something I love to do. So I'm going to send everyone who buys a workshop ticket a personal message before the workshop, just to say I appreciate them buying a ticket. And you get to play kind of within those confines of the simple repeatable tasks. And then like again, going back to the story at the beginning, like the freedom that comes from that. So now we're looking at the beginning of every month, we're like, cool, these are the things we know we're doing. This is how the calendar shakes out. This is like all the things, these are all the things I get to recreate, duplicate, make some changes. These are the couple of things I need to do that's fresh. But there are times in the week now where Sarah and I are literally like, okay, now what do we want to do? Because we're just chill. And that's been the result of doing the same 4 things every single month. Just making it easier for people to say yes to our core offer by giving them simple entry points, doing the same thing every month.
Totally, because we spent so much time doing things in our business that worked, but then not doing them again.
Yeah. Who here's
It was
done
like,
that?
wait, we did this and got a client, but next month, let's do something fun and creative instead and start from scratch. And so it's like we stopped looking for the shiny shortcuts and said, well, we do live workshops and they work. What if we just kept doing them and each month made them 1% better or 5% better or 10% better? Better meaning better conversions into our back end offer, better meaning faster planning and setup, better meaning an even better experience for people. And by repeating, it's like we're getting to phases of the process, the iterating and the optimizing that we never got to before because we were only doing 1 or 2 things.
Yeah.
We were only doing something 1 or 2 times. And how many of you know when you do something 1 or 2 times, you're not an expert? Like you haven't figured it out or maximized it at that point. So we were doing launches or putting products out there, and then it was like, okay, we didn't get exactly the results we wanted. So let's tear it all down and start something new. It's like, no, let's do it again next month and like build on the momentum.
Yeah. Okay, I got some questions here. Same content each month. So we don't, but there's nothing saying you can't repeat topics if you've grown your audience between the time that you repeat them. So if you've got an audience of 1,000 people and you are doing invisible audience growth, you're doing some sort of lead gen, something to grow your email list, and 3 months later you got 2,000 people, you can absolutely run a proven workshop again and either invite only the new segment of your list, which would be fresh for them, invite people who saw it last time and maybe couldn't come, which is a reality of a live event, right? You'll have a segment of your people who want to come and they don't want the replay, they want the live thing and they can't come from a schedule perspective. And you can decide that. So we do have people in our world who repeat every quarter or every 6 months type of thing. But for us at this point, we just do a new one every month. We find a new entry point into our world, a new portion of our expertise or how we can help people in a 60-minute window. And what that does for us is we have people who literally buy every single workshop of ours. So the last 6 months of workshops, they bought every single one of them. And now we have a little thing that we send to early folks who bought last month's workshop, for example, to grab the early bird price first before we make it available to our full list. So they, again, rewarding repeat buyers. But ultimately, none of us here will ever, like all of us, will never run out of workshop topics.
Yeah.
Like that's not a problem.
And
Yeah.
a
So
lot of
it's
times, so sorry, Sarah. I think I'm lagging on the thing. I didn't mean to talk on top of you. I think one of the biggest mistakes that I made, and I'll just say it, like, is sometimes I choose workshop topics that are too big because I think it's a single simple topic. Like, I mean, the first time that I did the blitz, like, I don't know how many of you guys were on that first blitz that I did like a little over a year ago. I was like, we're gonna do the 5 ads that you need in 3 days. Like, I figured out that I should have just done one single ad and took 3 days to teach that one ad. And so sometimes we think that we don't have a lot of stuff, but in reality, we have so much more workshops in us than we actually think.
Yeah, I like to say, like, you've probably forgotten more about your topic than most people will ever know. So like there's no shortage of and like, again, 60 minutes. You're either giving someone the time to do the thing, like to get it done, or to have a plan to get it done. But like, that's it. We're not trying to boil years or decades or like your whole program into a 60 minutes. Like literally one thing. And it could be, I mean, I just think, Laurel, in your case, like how to respond or how to unghost a ghosted DM conversation. 60 minutes. Like literally how to bring back a conversation to life that just died.
By the
That's
way,
like the
guys, if you're
smallest
not in
little thing.
momentum, I'm doing that on Monday. If you're not in momentum,
No way.
I'm doing that same workshop.
No, just that one topic, not DM conversations, just the one topic of bringing back a dead conversation to life. Because I'm sure there's a bunch of people in your world, us included, where we ran DM ads and it just stopped. So how do we bring it back? Right. And it literally could be a workshop on 5 questions to post, to respond with. Choose one of them, and here's how it's like a branch, right? If they do this, you do this. If they do that, you do that. And you just like bring those conversations back to life. There you go.
There you
And
go.
that's such
See,
a
that's what I'm gonna
small
do.
part of your ecosystem, right? Like it's a tiny part of the ecosystem, but that would be an awesome 60-minute workshop. So we all have that.
Yeah. And then we have the magic, one of the other pieces of this repeatable revenue process is selling existing assets. And so it speaks to kind of a different type of buyer who, Justin, like you said, they just want the instant thing.
Yeah.
So we have templates. Some of them are stuff we've created for our workshops. We have trainings. Some of them are stuff we've created for clients or inside our program. Some of the stuff is stuff we've just created for ourselves. So it's like we use this to run our own workshops, like our workshop sales page template. Okay,
Yeah.
we could totally give this to people. If any of you are in other niches, it's like, okay, what's the health tracker you use for yourself? What's the guided meditation you made for yourself? Like those things you make for yourself are sometimes awesome assets as well if you don't have a ton of stuff in a program already or in client work. And all we do is we create a fun little like resurrection story. It's like, what's a fun reason that we're bringing this out of the vault and making this available to people for a few days? And we set up a simple checkout page and we put a flash sale price on it. And we're like, this is only available for 24 hours or 48 hours or 72 hours. Let everyone know, tell a bunch of stories about it or talk about the results. And then again, use that as that trapdoor into the main offer. So on the thank you page, when people buy, they see an invite. In their confirmation email, they see an invite. If they log in to access the template, they see an invite. We might send them a personal message and say like, hey, and give them some type of good reason to upgrade right then, whether that's a discount or a bonus or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk. Rebecca, asked your question here about free or paid. Uh-oh.
Woohoo. This is one of our favorite things to talk about. So one of our mottos is everything works. There's people crushing it in business with free workshops, and there's people crushing it in business with paid workshops. So we're not here to say free workshops suck, never do one again. We have chosen, though, to do paid workshops in our own business for a few reasons. So number one, if we're doing something live, because we really value freedom, because we like to keep a lot of space on our calendar, we prefer to be paid for those things that we show up live for. It's just a personal thing for us where it's like, if I'm putting something on my calendar and I'm putting mascara on and I'm showing up on Zoom, I'm going to be making money from this. If we do free stuff, it's going to be stuff that can last for weeks or months or years. It's like an instant download. It's a YouTube video. It's a training on a page. So again, that's not to say free workshops are bad. That's just like a personal thing for us. Other thing is we really want to train our audience that we're a business that sells stuff. So we don't want all of their interactions with us to be for free things. So again, do we have some free content? Yes. Are we running helpful videos using Laurel's method? Yes. But we also are a business. And so we want people to be buying resources and access. So we have the paid workshops. And so for us, that means on our workshops, we're getting people there who are invested, they've pulled out their credit card, they blocked off the time, and they're there in a different mindset than if it was free. So I hope that helps. It's not an all or nothing sort of thing. There's totally a place for free content in your business, but I do think it's important to have like some boundaries and structure around what are the things that you do for free in your business and what are the things that you get paid for.
Yeah, it's also a math thing. So free, I would do it. We love experiments. We run experiments in our business every month. And for me, it would be an experiment where I'm going to do a paid workshop and I'm going to do a free workshop. And I'm going to look at signups, I'm going to look at show ups, and I'm going to look at conversions. Because the math will, again, the math will math. And so you may say, yeah, it's a barrier to get people to buy. And you're right. There'll be fewer people who buy than sign up for something for free. You'll also have a higher show up percentage from people who buy, which means a more likelihood of being able to connect with them and demonstrate your expertise. And if there's one thing that we've learned in the 4.5 years, it's that buyers buy again. And so starting with a $7 workshop versus a free dollar versus a no dollar workshop, that's an experiment worth testing and seeing how the numbers shake out. But we are where we are because of a list of buyers, because of going down this concept of our workshops are paid. We have tons of other ways like this. We're happy to be here for you guys. We're happy to create a YouTube video. We're happy to create a resource. We're happy to get on other people's podcasts. But if you like want to come to one of our workshops, it's paid. It may only be $5, but it's still paid.
All right. Do we want to just kind of quickly recap before we hop on the other Zoom link? I love that we just had this conversation because I get asked that all the time. Why do you give away so much free stuff? And now you guys are hearing two different sides of it. Me, I will show up for free. Like that's just what what I do. You guys are hearing a whole different, so that's why I'm always like, well, what is the thing that you're trying to solve for? Justin and Sarah have a completely different mindset of what they're doing with their paid workshops versus what I do with my free content. You can't look at it and be like, oh, well, Laurel says you should do free stuff. Justin, it's two totally different strategies with two different mindsets, right?
Yes.
And so that's why it can never be either or. I'll say something and then I'll turn it back over to them to recap. This is something that Nick always says, and you guys hear it from me in my, in my books. Your data trumps anyone else's opinion of what you should do. Your own data. And so that's why Justin said, hey, run a free workshop, run a paid workshop. The numbers are not he's right. The numbers are not going to lie. And it also has to, you have to show up in a way that you're going to show up and be happy about showing up, right? It's all about like, and we're not here to tell you one way or the other. We're just here to present you with what we know and enough information to help you make an educated decision on what's right for your business.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the recap is really short. Find something that works and do it again. Which sounds so obvious, but almost none of us do that. We find something at work and we're like, well, let me find something new. And so I would look at your data that you have in your business and say, what worked? How did I get my best client? How did I get my first 10 members that I love that stuck with me beyond for everything? Right? And there's probably something there that you did that you could do again. And then at the same time, whatever you're doing again or committing to do again, make sure that you like it. Make sure that you're going to do it. Like when Sarah and I joked this last workshop, like I woke up like it was Christmas morning. I was like, it's workshop day. Like I literally was giddy about being able to show up for a workshop. I don't know, we had like 400 people that bought tickets. And I was like, this is amazing. Like it's workshop day. Like, what is that for you? What is something that you love to do? You love to fulfill, you love to, you would happily do every single month. And then any of the energy drainers or time suckers, like those are non-negotiable. Those are not happening anymore. Because if you're going to do this every month, like you literally have to like the things you're doing. And then I would also say, like, what were the things that sold easily? So easily to sell could be writing the sales page was a cinch. It just like the words just flew out onto the paper. It was so easy. I didn't have to like think about it, like it just happened. Or I didn't have to like throw in 18 bonuses to get someone to buy. I didn't have to guilt someone to buy. I didn't have to do ticking timers to get someone to buy. I didn't have to do whatever the thing that you don't love doing from a sales perspective and it still resulted in sales. Chances are you do that again as well. And the other part of this is what some of you guys have brought up in the chat is like also like what are you doing to get in front of new people every single month, whether it's a combination of ads and audience handoffs or audience borrowing, whether it's a combination of ads and being active in this community. I saw some connections already being made in the chat, which was amazing. Again, that's your homework. Make sure you find people that you connect with here, because this is exactly how it started for Laurel, Sarah, and I. But like you got to be growing your audience. That is at this point, it's a non-negotiable. And for a lot of people that we've seen in our world, like they have great offers, great expertise, and the only thing they're missing is more people who know about them.
Totally. And I think the final thing that I would add to that awesome recap is make sure you've decided on that all roads lead to Rome offer. So that all of the activities you're doing every month are building momentum to something lasting, and that you're not doing new activities every month that offer is going to die a week from now or a month from now, but that if you're doing a live workshop, if you're selling a template, if you're doing a free workshop, if you are showing up on social media, do you have that stable main offer where you're like, everything I do builds momentum to this? Because that is a game changer from an energy and simplicity standpoint.
Yeah. Laura, I just saw you drop the link. So we have.
I was about to say, you want to tell them about Rome? We'll demonstrate what it's like, right? They just showed up. They borrowed my audience, and now you guys are going to hear about what they're doing, which in my opinion, and I told this to them weeks ago when they showed me this offer, I was like, this is the best offer I have seen in years. And I'm not just saying that, like I legit think this is the best offer I've seen in years.
Yeah. So essentially what we've done is we built the system for ourselves. Then we brought on 40-ish private clients and helped them install it in their business to refine and perfect it. And this coming week, we're making the system available for folks who just want the system. And so it's how to set up those 4 things, every single resource or template you need, everything has got GPTs. So it's, again, like I said, click of a button, answer some questions, and it's all done. So you can actually focus less on the stuff and more on connection and demonstration. But ultimately, it's a system. Like it's literally like installable into your business.
Yeah, and it's designed to be something that you repeat. So it's like, hey, this is what I hang my hat on. I do these 2, 3, 4 things every month, and I know that I'm going to get clients. So it's not a guessing game. It's not based on if your launch was at the right time or not. And we've streamlined everything we possibly can so that the main thing you have to focus on is showing up and helping people, which hopefully is the thing that you most love doing in your business anyway.
Yeah, I just answered the question this morning in Voxer. One of my students again was, Laurel, what do I need to be doing? I'm like, you haven't even done the one thing that I told you need to get done, right? Like, honestly, like if there's, people still ask me, Laurel, how do you keep growing your business? I'm like, I've been doing the same thing. Like you guys see me, 2-step posts, conversations, videos, like my strategy has not changed in the 7 years that I've been in business. I do the same, like that checklist that I give you guys in the program in the organic foundations. That daily checklist is still my daily checklist. And what I love about what they just put together in this offer, and that's why I brought them here, was because it's legit pairs so well with what I teach you guys here in this program. Like I've been looking for someone to put together this system for someone who's like, I don't have an audience, I don't have anything, like what structure should I follow? And so that's why I was like, I know, because we just had Justin, you were just here a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, fuck it, I'm bringing him back, because when he showed me this, I was like, they have to see this offer because it's really cool. And not only see the offer to buy it, but see it, how you guys put it together, because It's just so good. And what I love about it is anyone can do it. So
It'll yeah, I mean, it's a lot of heartache into this product, like a lot of mistakes that we've made, a lot of learning has gone into this particular product to actually create a business that is simple and in our case allow us to hit our enough number. And so it's we're excited to share it, and we geeked out over it. So there's some really cool things in there that make it really simple to implement.
well, let's go geek out on the other Zoom link, because I know
Oh yeah,
my and LOL members are gonna like want to pick your brain about what their offers look like, what they should offer, and let's
yeah.
go jam.
Yeah,
Let's do
and
it.
by the way, really quick, feel free to shoot us friend requests, Sarah and I, on Facebook if you have any questions or anything. Like just like we said, we love to connect. So
Yeah.
thanks for being here.
And I'll make you guys an SOP of this entire workshop, make it super easy for you guys to implement. So look for that either later today or early tomorrow. And love you guys. I will see you all of you guys in Momentum on the other Zoom link.